Welcome to the Alternative Hair Alchemist podcast. Now, whether you're one of the hundreds of thousands of women experiencing hair loss for any number of reasons, or if you're curious and want to check out what alternative hair is all about, you are in the right place. Hi, I'm Debra. I am a certified alternative hair specialist, educator, and the co-creator of a one-of-a-kind, shame-free, stigma-free alternative hair boutique called Very Best Little Hair House, and that's where the magic happens. That's where I help women and men like you find the alternative hair that brings their inner beauty out. We take over where genetics or Mother Nature dropped the ball and help you find and wear the alternative hair that makes you feel vibrant. I've made it my business to discover all there is to know about good wigs and toppers, and I love to talk about them. It's not just hair. It's so much more than that. This is about feeling complete, and if alternative hair is the way for you to do that, I got you covered. Yeah, it sucks when you see your scalp shining through your hair, but you know what? There is joy in finding the right alternative hair, trust me. It can be overwhelming at first. I mean, where do you start? Wig, topper? Oh my God, will somebody know? What if my wig falls off? First of all, take a deep breath, I got you covered. This podcast addresses all things alternative hair. It's not always as easy as just finding a wig and putting it on, so I'm going to give you a tell-it-like-it-is viewpoint from what I see firsthand. I've been through it all: stress, hair loss, alopecia, chemo. So I started my own journey about 20 years ago, and at that time I had nobody to talk to or get advice from, so I am here for you. And I can tell you this, even on my best natural hair day, I never looked or felt as confident as I do in my alternative hair. And now, after 5 years of helping people in my shop get over that fear and get out there, I am bringing this to you to inspire, empower, and educate you. It's simple. When you look good, you feel even better. And if alternative hair is part of that confidence, who cares if you grew it or if you bought it? Forget your grandma's wig and prepare to look red carpet gorgeous. Time to end this shame and stigma. Life is too short not to love who you are, and I want you to get excited about the possibilities. So grab your headphones, feel the love I am sending your way, and let's do this. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of the Alternative Hair Alchemist podcast. I am Debra Heim, and when I talk about alternative hair, I am talking about wigs or toppers or anything, especially to help you replace hair that is lost through hair loss. But also I like to address some of the mindset things that go along with the fears and limiting beliefs that we all seem to have around wigs and toppers. Now, if someone doesn't have hair loss and they're looking from the outside, they're like, well, what do you mean there's a stigma? There is no stigma, but it's really something that you only know if you've gone through it. I have had hair loss for years, both medical and stress. I have alopecia areata, went through chemo twice. I've been through it all myself, and that's why I developed my shop, because I wanted a place where you could try things on in comfort, where someone that knew what they were selling was helping you, teach you a little bit about how to take care of it, and give you that extra boost of confidence that you might need. Also, I am available online. You can find me at debraheim.com and verybestlittlehairhouse.com. If you think you would like to get together one-on-one, I would absolutely love it. But today we are going to talk about bangs. With this podcast, one episode at a time, I am going to chip away at your fears, hopefully get you excited about wigs, and we'll see where it goes from there. And when I talk about hair loss, you do not need a cancer diagnosis or anything like that to want to wear a wig. I can't say that often enough, because often when I get calls or emails from someone, they will try to explain why the hair loss is happening and where they are with that and what they are doing. And that is all fine. And yes, I want to hear it. But The bottom line is, don't let the fact that you do not have a diagnosis or this or that stop you from wanting to look better, because I believe we are all way more than our physical bodies. But while we're here, we are meant to enjoy ourselves every step of the way. And if looking in the mirror, you're going to feel better if you have a little bit more hair, well, that's what I'm here to help you do. I think in my shop, the number one most requested thing in a wig is bangs. Now, I'm not sure what exactly brings that about. I think it's a combination of things. Number one, if you grew up in the 80s, bangs were a thing. So we tend to want to hang on to what we feel comfortable with. But I also see with people that have worn bangs kind of hanging on to a limiting belief that they will not look good in anything that doesn't have a bang. And yes, there are a bajillion wigs out there, and a lot of them do have bangs, but I'm going to tell you, most of them fall into the classification of a fashion wig. And by that, I mean a wig that is meant to look a certain way, but because it's not really intended to be worn day after day with a sensitive scalp, it tends to be made a little bit more or less expensive. So when you are branching into what they call medical grade wigs or cranial prosthesis or any wig or topper that is constructed to look as if it is growing naturally out of your head, most of them do not come made with bangs. Or if they do, it is like a longer grown out bang. Now, why do they do that when they know everybody in the world pretty much wants a bang? Number one, longer is better rather than shorter as far as somebody making a wig, because you can always have the bangs adjusted. Now, if you're somebody that wants the bang, yeah, that's a pain in the butt, but you kind of understand that they are making it for many, many people. So longer is easier for them or more advantageous for them to put out than with a short bang that may end up being too short on some people. So this way, the individualization is up to you. And that, if you ask me, is what makes your wig look more like you than just putting a wig on and going, is some of the things you learn to do to make it adapt to your style, your face shape, and what have you. Also, the longer rather than shorter trend reflects the times. Now, I know most of the people that are the wig designers at the companies I carry, because I've worked very hard to get to know them and know their product. And they tell me that the styles are made to reflect the current times. Now, if you think about it, what did we just go through? The pandemic, where nobody could leave their house. Nobody got haircuts for a year and a half. So the styles you see coming out now are going to meant to reflect growing out hair. So you will see that as a trend coming out. In addition to curls, I see a lot of curls coming out, but you will see more of your long grown out shags, your long bangs, and that is a trend to reflect the times. And when you are getting a wig, most people want to look current. Most people. I do have a crowd that gets locked into their look from years ago. That's a whole nother episode in itself. But sometimes it's really difficult, but you want to try and go with the times. And I know myself when I first ventured into wigs, and I've talked to other longtime wig wearers that feel this way, we had to have a bang. I could not get okay looking in the mirror without a bang. And part of that reason is with hair loss. I think that's something we all do, is comb it forward so your eye gets used to seeing your face with hair across the forehead. But I can tell you firsthand, you can get by without a bang, and we're going to cover a couple of the tricks that I've learned to do. First thing is, where you wear your hairline on your forehead in a wig or topper can be changed. That's the beauty of a lace front. And one of the things when I first ventured into a wig that did not have bangs, I chose one that was parted in the center, and I learned to wear the hairline a little bit closer to my eyebrows. Now, there are all kinds of resources that will tell you where to wear your hairline, but I'm here to tell you, you have a little bit of play. Now, with hair loss, I see people in my shop want to wear the hairline too far back, and that's because you get used to the receding hairline. So the danger of that when you're wearing a wig is if you wear it too far back, it's not going to sit firmly on your head. But again, another episode, and I even have some videos about this, so I will try and post them in the group for you to refer to. Another reason you don't see a lot of heavy bangs in the medically constructed wigs, and this of course could be my own theory on it, but lace fronts and a heavy bang just don't seem to go together very well. Now, if you think about this, the lace front is your most fragile area of a wig. So wigs with bangs, and I've found a few of them medically constructed, they will have more of the classic cap or the PU strip around where the hairline and the bang falls, but they will be made with a mono top or a hand-tied construction so that you have your bang on a sturdy base and you can still get your multi-directional parting. Two of them that I have found, one is John Renault's Sandra, beautiful longer layers, nice heavy bang on it, and Kenzie from Renee of Paris. Those are the two go-to styles in my shop for people that love a bang. Another reason I see people want bangs, or that they tell me, because of their own eyebrow loss. So they think by wearing a heavy bang, it will stop or block the view of imperfect brows. But there are solutions out there for that too. I talked about the My Two Brows temporary tattoo. It's waterproof. It's great. I think that if you venture into trying that, you might be a little more confident to try a little bit of the less of a bang type styles. So there's something for you to try there. Also, there are companies that make clip-on bangs. Now, I say that with a little hesitation because they do also need customization. But before I will take scissors to a wig, if there's something I can add to it rather than cut it or take it to somebody to cut, then that is something I do. I mention this because I have a John Renault Kim and a John Renault Blake, and rather than cut that wig, which is really pretty perfect in its construction, there are companies that make a clip-on bang that works well with it. So don't forget, clip-on bangs are out there. If you must get a bang cut into a wig, don't be afraid. There are several YouTube videos out there. I've watched them myself, and it seems like there's more and more every day because people are learning how to customize their wigs themselves. And I can tell you, you can do it because I've learned to do it as well. Couple tips. Experiment on the wigs you're about to throw out till you get your technique down. That's what I've done. Or you can always find a pro to do it. And there are hairstylists out there that do cut wigs. It's a little bit of a challenge to find them, but they are also, the hairdressing as a whole is learning that the time for alternative hair is now. And I've had a couple beauty schools in my shop because that is another demographic, hairdressers that are often amazed when they come to my shop because they are amazed that what they see is not human hair. I have some of the best synthetics around. So that is a good education opportunity for them because I also get a lot of people in my shop that the hairdressers have sent in saying, don't get anything that isn't human hair. And that's just not good advice for what's out there right now. If you are sending someone to an alternative hair professional, just appreciate my expertise and advice. Now, I do want to say there are hairstylists that specialize in alternative hair, that they do bio hair as well as alternative hair. And that is somebody also that you definitely want to listen to. One in particular that I mentioned last week is Natalie of Strands and Fireflies Alternative Hair Studio. And she also has a group where she does tutorials, not just on human hair, but on synthetics. And there are many free groups out there where you can get education resources. So by all means, look for them. And in fact, last week or 2 episodes ago, I talked a little bit about what you need to look for in purchasing a human hair wig. I only mention that because it hit during the holidays. Probably nobody was listening to it, but I do have that out there where I mention Natalie and also In Vogue medical wigs and beyond as well. But by all means, those are not the only two human hair artists out there. It is just becoming a great thing that everybody is getting on the alternative hair movement, and I couldn't be happier about it. Now, I still hear quite a bit from new people to the alternative hair world, complaints about wigs being itchy and hot, and I assure you they are not all like that. But when you are in the experimentation phase, when you are first starting out, you're trying to find what looks best on you, I do recommend to start on the cheaper end, because you can watch all the videos in the world. You can check all the charts and color rings or what have you. But when you get the wig on your head, that is when you learn the most from it. So when you start to figure it out and you know what is and isn't working for you, that's when I recommend to get a really good wig that will make a difference in your life. Not just because of the comfort level, but it's also symbolic to the universe that you are telling yourself, I am important, I deserve it. And when you feel good about yourself, you do have ripple effects through your life. And that is, I think, my number one message to you is don't let fear stop you. We all go through it, and I am here to help you any way that I can. Now, remember, when you are searching for a medically constructed wig, the bang feature may not be there, but you have some options. And if you need any more advice, you're welcome to join the Wise Wig Advice and Support Group on Facebook. You can find me at a number of places, verybestlittlehairhouse.com, debraheim.com, Instagram, what have you. Shoot me a message. I'd love to hear from you. And until next week, peace, love, and alternative hair. If you loved this episode and want to connect with me, please go to my website and drop me an email, verybestlittlehairhouse.com, so we can get in touch. And until next time, remember that you are beautiful, perfect, and loved just the way you are.